All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night Mic Drop, joined by myself and the one and only Finn, who is just loving this new setup. Man, it's been a while. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I love doing this live. I know it looks maybe a little bit different, and it probably will look a little bit different until I get things figured out. Finn, don't bite. We're going to have a time with Finn. This whole desk now is like open, and she is biting cables and everything else. So let's see who's on tonight. Capsini. Yeah, dude, you're going to really enjoy tonight with Jimmy Blanchette, because I know you're into the ham radio stuff. So I'll just calm down. Finn, you're in the way. I can't read. Boy, you have this technology and you're like, this is awesome. But exactly where I'm looking right now is exactly where she's laying. Come on, move. Okay. Who else we got here? Sheila, thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Julie, always good to have you. Happy Friday 13th. Yeah, right. Annie B, I appreciate you. I still got to talk to you on the phone. Christine, John and I are driving to Tom Petty tribute show. Yes, awesome. Have fun. And, man, I want you guys to be able to see, if you get a shot. Finn, what is wrong with you? Yeah, I want you guys to be able to see the office, which I'm going to show here very shortly. Hello, Ann, Lola. We got our Canadian contingency, Tony. Tony fighting the flu. Prayers, Tony. Get better. Let's see. This is Laura Hunter. All right. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you. Faye Smith. Good to have you. Deneen, nicely. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Lola, and Kate, thanks for coming out. Margaret and Joe, appreciate you guys so much. Yeah. So I'm gonna do this better down the road. I just don't know exactly how I'm gonna set it up for the Friday night mic drops. I should be looking there, not there or here. So the bottom line is, I'm going to show you kind of what's going on here in the studio, because things have changed and it's awesome. But man, a lot of just awesome bells and whistles, but you've got to get used to it. And I'm assuming audio and everything's good or close to good. It's crazy. Anyways, I wanted to just say a quick shout out. Judd Burton last week. Judd is very thoughtful in the way he speaks. There's pauses and whatnot. Kind of the beauty of the way he talks. So I love hearing his voice. But last week's episode, there wasn't any video and whatnot. I did the best I could to make it exciting with all the flashing lights and the stuff. But it was a very important question and topic that I wanted to discuss, because you see it again and again and again. Ancient aliens, they believe the Sumerian texts about the Anunnaki are real and base this entire 20-year running program on the History Channel called Ancient Aliens on that fact. And in a way, it discredits the Bible, because the Sumerian texts are older than the Bible. But it's all taken from the same remembered event throughout the world, which is crazy if you think about that. They're all telling the same story. The one story, though, that puts morality into it is and doesn't and shows warts and all. Like the man after my own heart was David, and he was a murderer and a adulterer. So, warts and all. Anyways, it's all taken from the same cultural shared memory, all written after the fact, doesn't discredit the Bible. So that was what that episode was basically all about. And then on Friday, we had the Greada Treaty last Friday on Case Reopened. And it was interesting to see that most people believed that the Greada Treaty was real. That Eisenhower did strike a deal with the aliens in the pool. So very interesting. Tonight, as soon as this is done, Jimmy Blanchette, man, this guy has his own radio station, ham radio operator, radio station, and he has made contact with aliens. He sent out messages and gets them back. Very interesting. Bart Sibrel coming up on Tuesday about the fake moon landings, and you're going to definitely want to watch that one. So, but before we go any further, I do want to show you the studio. We don't have a lot of time tonight. This is about 16 minutes, and I hope you enjoy it because I shot this last night about 3 in the morning. But I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, check out the new halfway done studio here at the Ryan Files.
Okay, I'm down in the basement here, and I've got a good old Constitution and whatnot. I got all the walls banged up from everything I've ever brought up and down the stairs. Look at it, it's terrible. I need to paint, but this is kind of part of the process of finishing up the studio the way I need it. So I'm going to show you, it's not all done, about halfway done, but let me show you kind of what I got. All right. First and foremost, we've got big trouble. Finn and Knucklehead, Ace, God bless them. They are buddies and they are always competing. But move the couch over to here. I'll show you why in a second. Got this, you got some reflections, but underneath that poster, actually, underneath that print is actually something from the Identical, believe it or not. It's a 4 foot by 3 foot, and I built that frame, so I wanted to keep the frame, but makes sense to have the Ryan Files. They got this wall over here is just stuff that I'm going to get rid of, but I am going to put a massive whiteboard on this wall, and it's really going to help me in writing my book, which I'm excited about as I'm going down that road. So you got your stuff, you know, your printers and hard drives and different things, but here is where everything starts. And keep in mind, folks, I am okay, I'm down in the basement here, and I've got a good old Constitution and whatnot. I got all the walls banged up from everything I've ever brought up and down the stairs. Look at it, it's terrible. I need to paint, but this is kind of part of the process of finishing up the studio the way I need it. So I'm going to show you, it's not all done, about halfway done, but let me show you kind of what I got. All right. First and foremost, we've got big trouble. Finn and Knucklehead, Ace, God bless them. They are buddies and they are always competing. But move the couch over to here. I'll show you why in a second. Got this, you got some reflections, but underneath that poster, actually, underneath that print is actually something from the Identical, believe it or not. It's a 4 foot by 3 foot, and I built that frame, so I wanted to keep the frame, but makes sense to have the Ryan Files. They got this wall over here is just stuff that I'm going to get rid of, but I am going to put a massive whiteboard on this wall, and it's really going to help me in writing my book, which I'm excited about as I'm going down that road. So you got your stuff, you know, your printers and hard drives and different things, but here is where everything starts. And keep in mind, folks, I'm an industrial kind of guy, man. So like, I like this. That's awesome. It's just me. So I built this little stand right here that is kind of the brains of the cameras. Everything's battery backed up, so even if the power goes out, It's connected to all the cameras and the Starlink, which I'm going to be moving. So I can continue on battery power to record. If the power goes off in the middle of a podcast, I can continue to record. So this little guy right here is a box I built that houses the teleprompter. And you can see I've got my Windows Surface right there. Reflects up into there. Obviously it's backwards there because it's a mirror reflection. But that's where I actually will have the Zoom meeting that's going on, so I can see myself and the guest. And when I look in through there and the camera's inside there, I can actually see who I'm talking to. So, and here's a kind of a back view of that. It's kind of dark, I know, but you can see the camera and the image right there. All right. So, and I got to put a hinge on this door. But I like to have that closed up so kitties don't get in there. This is camera number 2 for the podcast, which I'll show you a little bit more about that in a second. But as we look, nobody's ever really seen this before. This is the studio. That's my background screen right there. I think it's a 80 whatever inch monitor. This is the custom desk I built. This is the new section right here. I'll show you that in a second. And Ace is having fun with it. I don't have the back cover on this because, as you can see, maybe there's a lot of wires going on. I'll show you the other side of that here in a second. But Ace, you okay, buddy? Of course you are. All right, so let's go over here. This is what I just built. And I do have some cable management I need to take care of. But that's why I have some of these things. But I'm going to get some more just to make sure the cables are covered. I'll show you this in a second. Very integral piece. All right. So this is my desk, custom built desk. And like I said, it's very industrial. It's not perfect, but it's extremely functional, and that's everything. So number one, this controller right here controls that camera that you see right there, and that's the side angle camera. Whenever I start out an episode and I have the other person up in the corner, that's that camera angle. So, and the way I can frame the image is on this monitor right here. And if I use this controller right here, you can see I can zoom out, zoom in, pan, whatever. Oh, there I am. Look at that. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? All right. So we can get everything framed up real nice. And there you go. Awesome. Okay, so just little things. This is a recorder for that camera. Has to be separate just because of the way it works. But before I start an episode, I make sure I hit this button right here. It's recording. When I'm done, boom. And there is a little disc in there that I have to take out. I do have to sync the audio on that. So a lot of remote controls. It just, everything has a remote control. It's crazy. So but under here, I built in all these switches, and you know, there's just different things. I have some of them listed: the Wi-Fi, the lights, the recorder, the control board, and it's awesome to be able to sit in the chair and have access to all that. So next up is kind of like the command module. Forgive the reflections of the lights. By the way, I'm sitting down where I sit normally during an episode. So from my vantage point, this is how it looks. Number one, this is how it looks now. So that is my Big Daddy laptop. It's got cooling fans and everything. And because it's under there, you can't hear the fans, which is awesome. This is the Mac Daddy laptop that everything, the Ryan files goes through. During an episode while recording, it's there, but I can see it. And it doesn't reflect on the screen behind me. So that's very important. And of course I have my mouse and everything else, but there's a lot of different things that can be reflected in the screen, and you take a lot of time trying to make sure that doesn't happen. So that's a monitor right there. I'll tell you about that in a second. And let me get the screen back on here. That is where I look. That is the teleprompter. So and it had the Ryan Files logo up there earlier, but it doesn't now. So fins all passed out. So anyways, up here are two of the studio lights. Those are my top lights, which is what all I had for a little bit, but I added some. And then I have a TV. I know it's crazy. I have a TV set up in the event I want to watch TV or whatever, sports or whatever, while I'm editing. So I do have that set up there. Over here on this side, we have more switches and controls. A lot of the computers and stuff. Some of sometimes it's nice to be able to turn off a monitor. Like these are the monitor buttons. So monitors are off. Turn them back on. And boom, there it is. So let's see here, the microphone obviously, and all this stuff routes down into, I don't know if you can see, but underneath all the cables for the video and everything will plug into the computer underneath there. That's a Mac Daddy computer, desktop computer that I don't use hardly anymore, because all I use is a laptop because I'm on the go so much. But I do have that hooked up to that screen, and I'll show you that in a second. Very important over here, one of the bookshelves. These are all books of people who have been on the show, and quick to reference and read and put it on the shelf and be able to access it. So now, why is, and this is not the accurate time actually right now, because I had to restart the clock. I gotta redo it, but this is a really awesome clock. And it's right in front of me, and it allows me to know the time. Hold on here. Yeah. Let me do this. There you go. I forget the name of these tubes, but it's just kind of cool. That's all I can say. It's really cool. So anyways, that allows me to know the time, so I know how long the interview is going and whatnot. And then something I wanted to add for a long time, it helps me not look quite as old, is some lighting here. So we have these lights that run about at that brightness about during the episode. So when I'm doing an episode, I have this in front of me, those lights, this monitor, and then I'm looking at that teleprompter screen, but that camera is also recording me, and there's a camera behind there, obviously. So that is, and then this monitor over here, obviously, it doesn't matter while I'm doing an episode, but so that's kind of like what it's like to be in an interview during the Ryan Files. Now, why do I have this screen up here? Well, I'm going to show you. I have paper notes, and like every episode, I have an outline that is anywhere between 20 or 30 pages sometimes. And it's just, and I have to print it out at 30-point font so I can see it without my glasses. So I said, what if I could just put the notes underneath the teleprompter? And I mean, I'm looking down anyways, but normally I'd have to look down here. So I said, okay, I'm going to hook up my awesome computer, which has multiple screens. So here is one of the screens, but let me turn these off so it doesn't flood the lighting. But here is what's awesome. Are you ready for this? So there you go. That is basically a monitor that I can do editing with and whatnot. Now it blocks the other monitor, but here's what I do. Like today, I interviewed Gary Wayne. Here's some notes from that interview. I'll take this, I'll push it over to here, which is the other screen. I'll shut this for the interview. Oh. I'll shut this for the interview. And over here, guess what you've got? You've got, boom. And I can just scroll my mouse, have all the interview notes. And like I said, this is every episode. And this episode is less than normal because I knew Gary had total control over the conversation. So, and he does, and it's an awesome episode. So, but anyways, that is what it's like. And all of this was designed like that monitor, those lights, these lights, so that that camera behind that image right there doesn't reflect on this screen behind me. So that's basically it, man. This is half of the studio done. Like I said, the other thing is, once I get the big whiteboard, it will go on that wall back there. Obviously, the monitor and whatnot is going to take up some of the viewing of it from my seat here, but that doesn't matter because what I want to be able to do is just come over here. I'm going to have, and this is all going to go, but I want to have just a chair and a nice comfortable chair and just be able to whiteboard and get creative and write notes out and timeline stuff out and just write notes. And for me, that's the way I need to think whenever I'm writing a book. So and the whole time Finn is going to be there, my assistant. I couldn't do it without her. You're awesome. You're so awesome. You know you're awesome, but that's awesome too. I love it. So one more quick view of what's done. I had to leave that. I took the fans off the ceiling fan because I don't need them, but this is basically half of what is intended of the Ryan File Studio. Oh yeah, and by the way, I do have some sound suppressors up there. So anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. It's the first time I've ever shown anybody this. Like I said, I just custom built all this stuff, and very industrial. I know it's not meant to be perfect. In fact, if it was, I wouldn't like it. So, but that's the Ryan File Studio. And yes, we do have all these cables hanging down from the lights and the everything. But the bottom line is, and really, that at the end of the day, that's it. The bottom line is, it works. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tour of the Ryan File Studio, part 1. Part 2 is coming, because there's actually so much more that you wouldn't believe. So we'll get to it. But anyways, just got off work. It's late at night, and but I wanted to show this to you tomorrow. So enjoy. Thank you so much. Now back to the Friday night mic drop. Cheers. Okay, I'm down in